Once upon a time, there was a young man who was known to be a skilled tailor. He had a small shop with a sewing machine, and he worked tirelessly day and night, yet earned very little money. One cold winter night, as he closed his shop, he accidentally left the electric heater on, and the resulting fire became a disaster, leaving him with neither a job nor money. For days, he searched for work but couldn't find any. He did odd jobs like carrying heavy loads and washing dishes, but still couldn't make enough money to pay his rent. Eventually, when his landlord lost patience, he found himself on the street with just a small suitcase containing his belongings, in the midst of the winter season. The cold weather confined him to a corner in the park. One morning, exhausted and unable to muster the strength to search for a job, he sat on a bench shivering. A large car pulled up to the curb, and a frustrated driver stepped out, muttering about taking a stroll in the park to calm down. The elderly man, clearly a wealthy businessman, took a few steps and noticed the trembling tailor on the bench. The tailor, in turn, was observing the coat the elderly man was wearing with keen interest. Suddenly, the businessman's frustration subsided, and he started thinking, the poor fellow must be freezing in this cold. How can I help him? However, the tailor, rather than focusing on the warmth of the coat, thought that the thick fabric didn't suit the owner and wasn't tailored to fit his body properly. When the elderly businessman approached and offered, "What's this, my boy? You seem frozen in this cold. I could give you my coat," the tailor declined, saying, "No, thank you. I just thought this coat doesn't suit you. The fabric is too thick, and it makes you look heavier than you are." The elderly man was taken aback by this response, as he, too, despite spending a considerable amount on the coat, never felt comfortable in it. "When you're shivering from the cold, how can you pay attention to such a thing?" asked the surprised businessman. Upon learning that the tailor was, in fact, a tailor, he invited him, saying, "Come with me. You can tell me your life story on the way." This encounter became a turning point in the tailor's life. The benevolent businessman, saddened by the talented man being homeless and jobless, provided him with enough money to open his own shop. In return, he only asked the tailor to make clothes for him. The tailor eagerly started a new job, his own business, and worked tirelessly with the excitement of a fresh start. Meanwhile, the elderly businessman continued to support him, introducing him to wealthy individuals for new orders. The small shop transformed into a large fashion house and began producing for many famous brands. The tailor was now referred to as a successful businessman. One day, the elderly man visited him. The tailor was about to embark on a significant business deal abroad, and time was of the essence. However, the old man suddenly fell ill, experiencing a heart attack. The tailor, not wanting to miss the big opportunity but also unwilling to leave his benefactor, canceled his trip and stayed by the old man's side in the hospital for days. After a long while, the elderly man opened his eyes, having overcome the life-threatening situation. When they locked eyes, the old man smiled, saying, "Tailor, being able to sew not only clothes but also the fabric of one's heart is a great talent.